Hello everyone, this is Dr. Lennon. I wanted to walk you through problem number, I think this is number 5 on the MindTap assignment, the Dante Development Corporation. So what we have here is kind of a big multiple level decision tree profile where we have a decision on whether or not they want to bid, and then the amount if they win or lose the contract, and then if they win or lose the contract, some market research numbers, and then forecasts for market possibilities, and then also whether they actually want to build the complex or sell it out to a contractor. And again, those are based on demands from those companies based, again, on the forecast for the market. So what we need to do here is answer a few questions. And kind of the main thing is just computing the expected value at each of the nodes, say node 8, node 9, node 10. So some of them have probabilities, and when they have probabilities, the easiest way to get the expected value is just multiply the probability with the profit. And when they don't have a probability, that means we should have perfect information here. So we would just take the bigger of whichever whichever values there are. So if we know how much we get on expected value for building a complex versus just selling it, which we know we'll get 1150, we should take the higher one of those. So just take the maximum of the two. And if you know that, then this problem really isn't so hard. So let's look at the first. Verify Dante's profit projections by calculating payoffs of 2,650,000 and 650,000 for the first two outcomes. So we're just looking at these two values up here in profit 1 and 2, and it's nothing difficult there, right? We know, okay, is the profit 2.65 million under the first scenario? Well, that's all we need to basically realize is that if it wins the bid, what's going to happen? Well, we know that the income will be 5 million. They'll have to pay 2 million for the bid to become a partner. They'll have to pay 200,000 to prepare the bid, and then they'll also have to pay $150,000 for the market research study. So, right, we have the cost of preparing the bid, the cost of becoming a partner, winning a contract, and the cost of the market research. So if you do 5 million minus 2 million minus 200,000 minus 150,000, you do in fact get 2.65 million. So the decision is, yeah, it's correct. You can check the second one also, but it will also check out. What's the optimal decision strategy and what's the expected profit for this project? Again, what you want to do is, I've developed a scan of kind of how I compute the thing. So as you can imagine, let's look back up at the top to figure out the expected profit if we bid, win the contract, do market research, the forecast is high, and then we build. What we do is we just multiply 0.85 times 2,650 plus 0.15 times 650, and we get the expected value at node 8. So that's 2,350 if we do that that computation I just said. And then remember down here at the other part it was 1150. So if we're figuring out node 5, which on the MindTap is node 5 is right here, node 8 is right here, then we're just going to take the max. I said this was 2350 if you do 0.85 times 2,650 plus 0.15 times 650, so it's 2350 versus 1150. So for node 5, we just take the max, which is going to be 2350. And then again, you're going to compute the same thing here. You're going to do the expected value of node 9 and compare that to 1150. So when you do the expected value of node 9, you get 1100. So compare 1100 with 1150. That's node 6. Node 6, we do the max of 1150 and 1100, and that's going to be 1150. So then for 4, we've got probabilities at nodes 5 and node 6. So you just kind of bootstrap your way backwards when you're doing this. So we have the 0.6 times the 2350 plus the 0.4 times the 1150, and that'll give us our expected value for node 4. And that turns out to be node 4, 1870. And so this is the case. This is our market research expectation of 1870. The no market research expectation, we're comparing the expected value of node 10 with the other value given below. So let's look at that on the sheet. So we compute the expected value, 0.6 times 2800 plus 0.4 times 800 comes out to, I think it was 2000, and we're comparing that against 1300. So our node 7 for no market research is 2000. So that actually helps us answer all the rest of the questions we need. So 1870 versus 2000. So we can see market research needs to get 130,000 cheaper before we're even getting the break-even point between these two values. And if you recall, market research was 150,000 to begin with. So if you get 130,000 cheaper, that means you can only pay 20,000 to do market research. The optimal strategy, if all the cards fall right, should be accepting the bid, because if you do the overall, the expected value of all these is much higher than the expected loss of minus 200 at 20%. And then you don't want to do market research, because not doing market research has a higher expected value of 2,000, and then it's going to be cheaper or it's going to be more beneficial in node 10 if we build the complex versus selling the rights to build the complex. So that's what we do down here. We have we want to bid, we want to not do the market research, and we want to build the complex. So in this scenario, the expected profit, wrong one. What's the expected profit here? So we have, so the way we get the expected profit is what we do is, remember, we're going to basically calculate our expected value for node 1, which means that we're going to do the computation under the optimal strategy, which has an expected value of 2,000. If we come out at node 10, the expected value of 2,000. So that is 0.8, the probability of winning the bid, times 2,000, plus 0.2, the probability of losing the bid, times 200 minus 200, the amount we lose for bidding on the contract and not winning it. So if you do that, I think you get 1560. So enter that and just see 1560. So let's check the work, make sure we got these. Whoops, I did something silly wrong. That's all you need to do is it is 1560, but it's 1,000, so we need to add 3 zeros, and that should fix the problem. So, and then the last one, what would the cost of market research have to be to make the undertaking desirable? Remember, we talked about that earlier on the expected values. So no market research had an expected value of 2,000. Market research had an expected value of 1870. Remember, when you do the subtraction, you have to add the 3 zeros on the end, otherwise you'll get it wrong, just like I did. So hopefully that helps.